Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy and welcome to The Last Lap. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down everything we saw from Nashville Super Speedway. But before we hop into the video, just want to quickly remind you guys, hit that subscribe button and that like button. We'd greatly appreciate it if you did that, and our social media pages, they'll be linked down below. But let's go ahead and hop into the video. Matthew, my friend and co-host, is joining me. And to just quickly start off this episode, so on this podcast slash YouTube channel, we take a lot of inspiration from different shows like the NBA on TNT guys. We love watching them. We use some Undisputed stuff from Skip and Shannon. RIP, that's no longer going to be a thing. But we like to use a little bit of that. So I have an idea that we're going to do for the show. So the NBA on TNT guys, they use, if they have like a prediction or whatever, they use sticky notes like this. I'll show Matthew too, like that. They put stuff on sticky notes and then they post it on the wall, and then if it's right or wrong, they'll evaluate it and da-da-da. So I had an idea, so if you guys didn't listen to the last episode, I made a prediction that Chase Elliott was going to go quote-unquote white hot, like Denny Hamlin said that he was going to, and all that stuff. I said that was going to happen, so I decided to write it down on a sticky note right here. I got it for you, Matthew, right here. It says it right there. It's got the date and everything. I'll show the camera too. So there you go. And I'm going to go put that on the wall while you go ahead and say how you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Matthew, go ahead and tell everybody how you're doing before we hop into this video.
Well, I'm doing great, especially after a great weekend at Nashville Super Speedway with some amazing racing from both series, amazing passing, and man, we got some topics to discuss after this past weekend. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Alright, there's the sticky note right over there. And Matthew, if you ever have anything, feel free to always shout it out, because I feel like that'll be a little fun thing that we could do throughout the season and all that stuff. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this race recap from Nashville. Starting it out, Ross Chastain was on the pole. It was his first career pole. Early on in the race, Kyle Busch had a flat tire. Didn't have any damage. He just had to come down pit road and change the tires. He was actually able to make it to the end of stage 1 on fuel. It was really close, so he was able to cycle through and stay on the lead lap. He even got stage points, I think. So a little bit of a blessing in disguise there for Kyle Busch. Semi off topic, but Carl Edwards was back once again at the track. This time it was like Nashville Super Speedway. They were hosting him for, I guess, just kind of pre-race stuff and things like that. And always love seeing Carl Edwards back on the track. There's some rumors going around that, you know, he's been doing some sim testing and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, it was just really cool to see him back at the track again. Always love seeing him around. Whether or not he gets back in the car, it's always good to see Carl at the track, and we need to see him more at the racetrack. Early in the race, Ross Chastain was leading, and Noah Gragson was about to be lapped by Ross Chastain, and he raced Ross pretty hard. I don't know if a lot of people picked up on this, but if you guys didn't remember, Ross Chastain and Noah Gragson have had a few incidents this year, so I think Noah Gragson made it a little bit hard on him there, and it actually ended up costing him the lead. Tyler Reddick was able to pass Ross Chastain for the lead, and he would eventually win the stage. Reddick would. There was a really good battle at the start of stage 2. It was a 3-wide battle. It was Martin Truex Jr. on the bottom, William Byron in the middle, and Ross Chastain on the top. I'll try to throw a clip of it if I can find it. But they were 3 wide for the lead for probably 3 or 4 laps in a row after the restart for stage 2. Really great battle, great racing there. Just want to shout that out. And then after green flag pit stops, Tyler Reddick ended up losing a wheel. He tried to come down pit road. He knew something was wrong. He lost control of the car coming off of turn 4, slid down pit road. The tire pops off, and he got the tail end of the line penalty in the race because it technically happened on pit road. Yeah, that would pretty much end Tyler Reddick's day. He'd be stuck 2-3 laps down the rest of the race. And then I don't know if it was the restart right after that or not, but there was a pretty big crash on that restart. I'll throw a video of it up on the screen. But Brad Keselowski, he did not get going. William Byron ran into the back of him, and that stacked pretty much the whole field up. And Ryan Blaney, he checked up, and Kyle Busch got into the back of Ryan Blaney, and that sent Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney both sliding through the grass. Blaney's car was not able to come back around, and he ended up hitting the inside wall in a really weird spot. And there was unfortunately no safer barrier there. Ryan Blaney hit the inside wall. Car had a lot of damage. It definitely took him a minute to get out of the car. Even I heard on the radio that he was like, "Oh my gosh, that really hurt. I need help," something like that. But he was able to get out of the car, go to the Info Care Center, and be released and do an interview and all of that stuff. He said that was one of the hardest hits he's ever had in his life, which is saying something, because he wasn't even really moving that fast. Like, from the replay, it didn't look like he was moving that fast towards the inside wall, but like the damage of the car definitely shows that it was a hard hit. So glad that Ryan Blaney was okay. And you know, I've seen a bunch of reactions on Twitter and all this stuff, and I'm gonna agree with all of this, that there should be no part of any racetrack where NASCAR races on where there are not safer barriers. It doesn't matter where it is, because if there's one spot that doesn't have safer barriers, eventually a car is going to find that spot. And that's what happened in this race. So I'm sure Nashville Superspeedway is going to fix that moving forward. They better, and they should. But that goes for any racetrack on the NASCAR schedule, that everywhere needs to be safer barriers. Inside wall, outside wall, doesn't matter where it is, there needs to be safer barriers there. So glad it wasn't anything too bad for Ryan Blaney. Hope he's able to have a good rest of the week. I'm sure he'll probably be sore, but glad that nothing major happened there. In Stage 3, Kevin Harvick made his way through the field. He was outside the top 10, top 15 most of the day, but slowly started to get better. But unfortunately, he had a flat tire, and that pretty much ended his day. No damage. He just had to come down pit road, lost a few laps there. But as it came down to the end of the race, it was Ross Chastain versus JGR, and by JGR, I mean Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex Jr. Probably around 75 laps to go. I don't know if Truex was leading or Hamlin, one of the two. I don't know, one of them was, they were both 1-2, and then Ross Chastain was third, and he made a really big push, came out of nowhere, and just passed both of them within the span of a few laps and took the lead. And then green flag pit stops happened shortly after that. Ross Chastain was able to open the gap over Martin Truex Jr., and lap traffic will play a factor. Every now and then, Truex would gain on Ross Chastain. He got pretty close to him at one point, but Martin Truex Jr. just burned his tires up, and Ross Chastain was able to hold him off and win at Nashville, his first win of the season. So let's quickly go over the results, and then I'll go over some quick post-race thoughts. Ross Chastain, the winner. Two JGR teammates, Martin Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin behind him. The 300 cars, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and William Byron, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Didn't really hear much about them today. Those three pretty much were inside the top 10, top 5 for most of the day, but it was pretty much the Ross Chastain and Joe Gibbs Racing show today. Christopher Bell, 7th, good run for him. He's kind of been slacking as far as JGR is concerned, so good to see him get a good run. We got Eric Jones, 8th. I don't really know what happened. He was just kind of there, like just right near the outside of the top 10 most of the day, and snuck inside of the top 10, so good run for him. Kyle Busch, 9th, after a few errors and mistakes and all that stuff today, so good bounce back for Kyle Busch. And AJ Allmendinger, 10th. I'm wondering if running the Xfinity race may have helped him out a little bit, because he was up close to the top 10 all day long, ended up finishing 10th. Good run for him. But let's go ahead on to these post-race thoughts. I'm going to start with Ross Chastain, and I think before I get into the big question, this was Ross's first, normal, quote-unquote, win in the Cup Series. Last year, he won at COTA in a wild last few laps there, and then he won at Talladega a few weeks later, which is obviously a super speedway race. So this is his first kind of normal oval win. He's been close a few times. Darlington earlier this year, he had a really good car, just got caught up with Kyle Larson, and they battled it out and ended up getting wrecked out. So this is the first time Ross Chastain has closed the deal on a normal race, whatever. So that's good that he was able to get that off his back. I think he'll be a lot more competitive down the line at a lot more of these normal oval tracks. But the main question I think a lot of people are saying is like, oh, did Ross Chastain, has he changed since Darlington and all that stuff? And, there were rumors that he had a talk with Justin Marks, and he told him to calm down and stop being so aggressive and da 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 da. And Ross Chastain apparently said that conversation never happened, but instead that they pumped him up and said, "You got this," and just gave him more energy and all of that stuff. So, has Ross Chastain changed? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, he's so up and down. He'll go for a few weeks without getting into any altercations, and then he'll go on a stretch of 3 weeks where he gets into somebody every single week for the next few races. So I really don't know. I don't think he's changed. I think he's just kind of in that mellow phase right now where he hasn't aggravated anyone over the past few weeks. But I think he's still going to be that aggressive and hard racing Ross Chastain. But good for him to get a win, and you could tell in his post-race interview that it was definitely affecting him. All of the media saying, that where's he been, what's happened, he's been on this streak of not running well, and has, they talked the confidence out of him, and da-da-da-da. So good for him get that win and be able to just push all that talk aside and let the results do the talking. And the final thing I kind of quickly want to talk about is this might be the most competitive it's been all season between the Toyotas and the Chevys. I know the Hendrick cars didn't really lead a lot of laps, but they were up there in the top 5. And then Joe Gibbs Racing cars, they were up there at the front most of the day. So I'm hoping this is the case moving forward, because I don't want to see one manufacturer or team become so dominant throughout the summer and into the playoffs. I'd love to see this kind of fight between like Hendrick Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing, or Chevy, a few Chevys versus the Toyotas. So really hope that's the case moving forward. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really have to talk about what I saw from Nashville. Matthew, what are your thoughts about some of the stuff you saw this weekend?
Alright, so first and foremost, I want to say congratulations to Ross Chastain and Trackhouse for the win on yesterday at Nashville. And not only this was also Trackhouse's first ever pole, with Ross Chastain winning the pole. That was their first ever pole, and now they have one in Nashville, which is considered Trackhouse's hometown. I think. I know they were talking about like possibly building a racing shop in Nashville, but it sounds like it's more of a Trackhouse home track here with Nashville. So congratulations. This makes it 11 different winners now, and there's still plenty of time to fill up that 16 playoff spot. I highly doubt that will happen, but we still got 2 super speedway and 3 road course races left. So we can have 5 different winners of those tracks alone. So it's gonna get interesting if we get more winners, especially next weekend. Who knows who's gonna win that race? I don't know, but as for Ross Chastain, I know this year has been a challenge for him. He has been very consistent, but at the same time, he has been very controversial, with most of the time being his own fault. And as much as I do criticize for things he does on the track, I do love when he's able to close it out and win these races, because I do love Ross Chastain's celebrations, especially with the classic watermelon toss. I think that's pretty much become a iconic celebration at this point. But yeah, if this could be the story of Ross Chastain's championship run, if he's able to basically gain his confidence back after what happened in Darlington and continue on a hot streak. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. JGR was fast. Hendrick was fast. Eric Jones was absolutely a surprise. Where in the world did he come from? Legacy Motor Club, of course, has been absolutely terrible. So it's great to see Eric Jones finally get a top 10 again. I don't even know where to start with Kyle Busch. I mean, well, flat tire early in the early laps. Then he speeds on pit road. Then he gets involved in the wreck. Then he has to stay out for a strategy. And next you know he's in the top 10? What? I mean, I would gladly take it after what happened that night. So, but on AJ Allmendinger top 10, which is apparently back-to-back top 10s now for AJ Allmendinger. Could this be the start of a playoff push for AJ Allmendinger? And Jimmy, go ahead, right, get your sticky note out here. I'm making a prediction. I'm going to say AJ Allmendinger will make the playoffs this year, especially since we got 3 road courses left. I won't even count out the super speedways either, because Colleague Racing has always been great on super speedways. And now that Allmendinger with back-to-back top 10s, this could be a team that might be able to get in the playoffs either by winning or pointing their way in. They're not that far behind right now, so we'll see if my prediction comes true. So that's my first sticky note prediction: AJ Allmendinger making the playoffs. Okay, now I want to talk about the whole Ryan Blaney situation here. First and foremost, I'm glad Ryan Blaney was able to climb out of the car. I'm hoping he's okay. I mean, I don't want to speculate about concussions, all that, but as far as I've seen, he was able to walk out under his own power, and hopefully he is okay. But man, I mean, Nashville Super Speedway should be ashamed of themselves, because I mean, there's no excuse. Why is there no safer barrier? And I don't want to hear about, oh, a car's never hit that spot. Who cares? A car is going to find a spot no matter when. It doesn't matter when. I mean, a car will find a spot where there's concrete. Now, I know you can't do it on road courses, but every other track should have safer barriers everywhere. And I mean everywhere. I don't care if no one's ever hit that side of the wall before. It needs to have safer barriers, just because of that example right there. I mean, I had to deal watching my driver out for 11 races all those years ago because there was no safer barrier at Daytona all those years ago. I'm sure Ryan Blaney fans, I mean, they should not be happy about it at all, because that could have happened as well. But thankfully, he was able to climb out under his own power. Okay. So, I mean, hopefully Nashville Super Speedway does something about that quickly, and all other tracks should be taking notes if they haven't already. So, yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. But overall, besides that, amazing racing. What a great race it was. And, yeah, congratulations, Ross Chastain.
Alright, here it is. I wrote it down. There you go. AJ makes the playoffs. There's Matthew's first sticky note. I'll go put that over there right now, actually. I'll put it over there. This nice little boot right next to mine. There we go. Alright. So, now that we are in the second half of the season, I think it's time that we're going to have to start taking a look at the point standings, the cut line, and all that stuff as we approach the playoffs. So, I got it pulled up right here on my phone right here. So, 15th place on down seems to be where everything is jumbled up. So, Bubba Wallace is currently 15th, 30 points above the cut line. Daniel Suarez, 2 points above the cut line. Alex Bowman, 2 points below the cut line. Ty Gibbs, 10 points below the cut line. AJ Allmendinger, minus 24. Michael McDowell, minus 27. And as we scroll down just a tiny bit more, Chase Elliott is minus 64. And, they're technically, I guess there is a way that he could point his way in, but it's just going to be really hard to outrun all of these guys every single week. So mathematically, I do think it is possible, but it's going to be really hard for him to be able to point his way in. So I still think he's pretty much in a must-win situation. I'm also going to quickly look at the regular season points, because if you are the regular season champion, you get a I think 15 extra playoff points, which is a huge amount. So Martin Truex Jr. is currently the points leader, and you got William Byron and Ross Chastain 18 points behind him. Then you got Christopher Bell minus 45 and Kyle Busch minus 48. So those are the top 5 in the regular season standings. Figured I'd talk about that as well, since 15 playoff points is a really big reward if you're the regular season champion. What else was I going to do? I was going to talk about our... Well, we could rate the race now. I2 guess. I guess. Wow. I2 guess. I guess also. Man, this is tough. It was, like, the green flag racing was pretty good on the restarts, especially that 3 wide battle for the lead for 3, 4, 5 laps. Not too many cautions on the day, so I guess I'll have to go. I'll go like a 7.2 out of 10 for this race today. But Matthew, what are you going to rate this race before we're going to finish this video up?
I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Amazing racing. I know there was a lot of cautions, but that's not the reason why. It shouldn't make a difference in the racing. But it was absolutely amazing racing, especially the battles for the lead. And yeah, 8 out of 10.
Alright, and it's been quite a while since we've checked our fantasy points, and nothing has really changed. Matthew is still absolutely demolishing me. I'm just going to give the straight up points update for our totals. You're at 3,243. I'm at 2,957. You are 286 points ahead. So, yeah, nothing's really changed. Your lead has grown since the last time we've checked, so not much has changed there. But Matthew, do you have any other closing thoughts before we go ahead and finish this video up?
Well, we're getting ready for pretty much the most chaotic race in the last 10 years, I think. I think we're getting ready for that. From the practice sessions to the qualifying sessions to both races going on, we're about to see one interesting weekend. So we're going to be getting ready for that. Especially on iRacing, because both of us are trash on that right now.
Yeah, Chicago Street Course is coming. Very excited to see how that turns out. We might even watch that race together. Not there, obviously, but locally together. But yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Very looking forward to seeing how that race plays out. Both races, Xfinity and Cup. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts about our little sticky note thing in the comments below. Or let us know if you have any predictions you might want to throw out there for the rest of the season. Whether it be the regular season, playoffs, anything like that. But make sure you guys stay tuned to our social media pages. We'll be posting updates throughout the week over there on those. But until the next time, we will see you guys in our next video.